dignitaries on the dais, distinguished guests, and delegates, friends. Happy that I'm back again with you. And thank you for inviting me. Interesting, two responsibilities together. I don't know how do I link the two together, but let's save time and move forward. Well, first, let me talk to you about ease of doing business. I was a little late to be here when my distinguished colleague Elias, I believe, mentioned to you about the ease of doing business ranking and the sense of agitation that the people expressed or experienced. I would say it is something good. If that agitation really means something, that's a very good indication. Let it be a kind of a spark, kind of a leading light, which should not only take all those who are present here, but the whole state forward. So, let's not feel bad about it. At the same time, just to give a little background of the whole thing, and then coming to the nitty-gritty part of it. Maybe a little boring at that, but still it is necessary for all of you. And you were possibly waiting to hear something about various provisions of it, which I'll put it very briefly, the most important ones. As you know, the Ease of Doing Business Index, that's a creation of the World Bank. And from the very beginning, there were criticisms for and against it. And even some of the independent reviews from World Bank staff itself said that it is not a very fair way of assessing the countries participating in it. That's true also. 192 odd countries, and then we have the least developed, and we have the fast moving, fast growing economy, and then the developed economies, putting all of them in the same basket and taking even small, narrow stretches and areas, and then saying that your rank is so good, your rank is not so good at all. It did invite severe criticism. Having said that, some kind of, it's not easy thing. Say, for example, GDP. Is it that everyone is happy about its assessment and its conclusion? No. But we require some kind of a yardstick, some kind of a measure to understand where people stand, where the country stand, where the state stands. So to that extent, I am willing to go with this, despite various incongruities in the whole business. Before I proceed to the nitty-gritty part of it, to tell you, yesterday also I have clarified that there were some reports that Kerala stands 26 in the latest ease of doing business ranking, which is as of now not correct. Because the last day for all the state to submit all the data was 7th of this month. And they have this year indicated this will be, that the states will be assessed on the basis of a business reform action plan consisting of 372 action points. And they are still in the process of assessing them, evaluating them. And in the case of Kerala, they have taken only 32 so far. So there's a long way to go. believe me, even if our rank goes little down, let's not worry about that. Because it all depends on a comparative performance or the way it was presented. In some states, one secretary is made only for this. And they were told that, see to it that you reach this level. Is that the right thing to do? No. So I would give a little more a different point of view in the sense, I would say, if we have improved our score, even if our rank has gone down, score is a kind of mark for all that you have done. For example, last year, in 2015-16, our rank was 18, and our implementation percentage, that was the score was 22.8. But in 2016-17, our rank went down to 20th, but our score went up to 26.9, which shows that we have done better. So if we perform better, and if we gain more mass, better score, I would say that is a better indication than a feeling of a disbelief and a despair that why did we go down. So in any case, we have not yet reached a stage to say that we have been finally assessed and this is the level of our performance. So in the global standards, India was now rated 100 from an earlier rank of 130. Mind well, something nice to hear. But again, it's all based on the evaluation of 10 sectors, that is starting business, obtaining construction permits, getting electricity connection, registering property, getting credit, protecting investors, paying taxes, trading across borders, enforcing contracts, resolving insolvency. And again, pertaining to two metros, Delhi and Mumbai. So in effect, the whole ranking was done based on the data available in the various sectors in these two metros. So it has got its own internal, incongruities and all, So let's not worry much about that. Now coming to the actions that we have taken, we have earlier engaged KPMG to study the situation prevailing as is analysis, and then come up with the certain recommendation. They did come up with certain recommendations. It was considered at various levels, discussed with the stakeholders. It was taken to various departments. Their comments were taken. It was then submitted before the state cabinet. The state cabinet approved the recommendations, and finally, government decided to issue an ordinance. So, an ordinance was issued on the 20th of last month. And with this ordinance, 7 acts were amended, and a score of rules were further amended, 20 odd of them. And this, we believe, will to a large extent improve the situation in relation to the various procedures that have been prescribed for getting various activities done, by getting a clearance for a project, or for getting a license, or renewal of license, etc., etc. And then a government order has also been passed under which KSIDC has been appointed, engaged as the nodal agency, and all district collectors have been also appointed as the nodal officers for clearing projects at the district level. And it is here that government issued another order wherein they have appointed a Kerala Industrial Investment Promotion and Facilitation Cell, both at the state level with KSIDC as the nodal point, and at the district level as the collectorate as the nodal point, and a notification has also been issued. Now, how to get this implemented? The first and foremost thing is that the principle that the single window clearance system, which was in existence from 1999 onwards, that also marginally amended, that is given effect in its totality. In the sense, the applicant need not have to go from door to door, from table to table, pursuing what has happened to his application. So, now it is prescribed that the applicant needs to file only a common application form. And this common application form will be submitted to the respective agency, whether it is KSIDC or at the district level. And there is a committee at both the level, at the appropriate levels of officers and head, to undertake various follow-up actions. These follow-up actions are tracking the progress of the application submitted online. And mind well, again, the applications need to be submitted online. You need not have to go hunting in which door it has to be filed. Obtain regular feedback from the stakeholder departments, agencies. Remove bottlenecks, if any, and ensure time-bound disposal of applications. So, this is the mechanism through which KSIDC and at the district level, the applications will be followed up in a time-bound manner, clearance given. And in certain clearances, it is just 15 days, and for others, it is 30 days. And if it is not given clearance, it is deemed to have been given. And if there is any grievance against them, there is a particular subcommittee of the state single window clearance board under the chairmanship of the principal secretary industries. And that subcommittee can be approached for redressal of the grievance. Okay. And then, as a part of ease of doing business exercise, NIC is doing the work for designing the application form, common application form, and also networking with various departments, etc. And then it has also other components in the sense there is a smart software being developed to get various clearance for building, for construction. Building construction permits. If all of them are there as per the prescribed law, there is no need for the applicant to go and knock the doors of the local self-government bodies or the appropriate agencies. This smart software is being developed, and we hope that that will be available in another couple of months' time. So, the various amendments are mainly on Kerala Panchayat Raj Act, Kerala Municipalities Act, Kerala Lifts and Escalators Act, Kerala Groundwater Control and Regulation Act, Kerala Headload Workers Act, Kerala Shops and Commercial Establishment Act, and Kerala State Single Window Clearance Boards and Industrial Township Area Development Act of 1999. Well, friends, I don't know whether you have the patience to listen. I will not take much of your time, but I thought it is important that I mention to you the major critical improvements that have been intended to be achieved by the ordinance and other follow-up actions. One major change. Employers shall no longer be obliged to hire the services of headload workers if they have their own manpower or machinery for loading, unloading tasks. An employer may henceforth arrange loading and unloading operations on his own. It is as per the section 9A. This is as of now. And it's under the same section, the most hated Nokuguli, that has been abolished. This is the current scene, and let's hope that this will sustain. Okay, all right. There's a major change, I would say, in the whole of the exercises. Eliminate the need for NOC from the district medical officer for undertaking all activities. Henceforth, clearances from DMO to be applicable only for hospitals, clinics, laboratories, and paramedical institutions. So again, something good to know, saves a lot of your time. Specific time limit of 15 days fixed for issue or rejection of licenses, beyond which deemed licenses will be issued. Next, a very important thing is this. Approval based on self-certification and third-party certification for specific levels is implemented in the state for clearances from local self-government, pollution control board, CTP, fire and rescue, etc. However, misrepresentations, if detected later, a penalty of maximum rupees 5 lakhs shall be charged. It's a major change in the sense that you trust the citizen. He has no reason to cheat the government. It's a basic change in attitude. So, self-certification as a basic tenet in getting clearances has been introduced. Another major change, which you would be happy to note, the power of the local body to issue stop memos, the biggest weapon, which the local bodies have often been using to threaten entrepreneurs and even to put full stop, if not, even obstructing, there were clear cases like that. Power of the local body to issue stop memos to industries that obtain all statutory approvals on receiving complaints about nuisance created by the venture has been taken away. Instead, local body has to seek an expert opinion from the concerned departments and take action based on that. Because, mind well, this is a radical change in the sense it is the present dispensation, the left democratic front, which gave so much of push in empowering the local self-government bodies. And now the same government is saying that no, there is a reason to revisit the situation, to relook at it, and then their powers have been curtailed to that extent. It's a very major step, I would say. Stop memos, prohibitory notice to be issued, if any, only if the establishment fails to comply with the corrective norms of the technical departments within the stipulated time frame. So, if there is a problem, you will be asked to rectify that. So, only after that and getting the expert opinion, the local self-government bodies can proceed further. Another welcome change is license to be issued with the validity of 5 years. And renewal of the same will also be for 5 years. So total 5 years, 10 years. And renewal will be automatic based on the payment of the prescribed fee. No further questions asked. And there is no separate application or procedure to be followed in this. As a follow-up of earlier what I have said, introduction of self-certification for green category industries for pollution control board and self-certification for factory licenses from factories and boilers for factories with less than 25 workers. That is for green, that is a green and white categories of industries. They need not have to worry about the PCB controls. Then I mentioned about the investment promotion facilitation cell which has been constituted at the Kerala KSIDC office as well as the district collector's office. Single window board will have the power to issue composite clearances that will be binding to all departments, agencies. Deemed license may be issued by the respective boards in case where the stipulated time period of 30 days have exceeded. It's a very welcome suggestion. Then something interesting, keeping in mind the ecological needs of the state. Extraction of groundwater below limits fixed for the block concerned shall be permitted on the basis of self-certification of the unit concerned. In the case of misrepresentation, of course, there will be a penalty of 5 lakhs. All persons extracting groundwater are now required to make provisions for treating, recycling and reusing used groundwater. It's a very welcome suggestion. Not suggestion, decision. The license for lifts and escalators may now be issued for 3 years instead of 1 year at a time. Only 2 documents are required for obtaining electricity connection. Look at this. Just proof of identity and proof of legal occupancy. Just 2 documents required for getting an electricity connection. And also with reference to the floor area ratio, coverage area and floor area ratios have been increased in the relevant rules, thereby increasing the available land for construction. Then some more of, but I'm only reading the most important ones, provision for joint inspection by departments have been introduced. Instead of, one department coming one day, the other one coming the 3rd day, the other one coming on the 5th day, like that. An online single window clearance mechanism, SWIFT, including online common application form, unifying the application of the concerned departments, agencies with online payment provisions for speedy disposal of clearances in the state have been introduced. So these things have been notified, and we are getting these things popularized. We are getting it to all the local bodies and industry associations, trade bodies, etc., to get the message of ease of doing business to all those who are concerned with that. Well, friends, let me tell you one thing. As it has been said often here, ease of doing business is only just one part of it. And believing that it is the responsibility of the government and we have nothing to do with that. Sorry. That's not. As I mentioned yesterday, if you want to create an ecosystem, essentially the people, the city, the town, the village, they also have to rise to the occasion. They should also understand the importance and need and their particular role in it. As I mentioned yesterday again, if the city cannot provide adequate facility for a family as a whole, how is it that you are going to attract and retain talents here? You have beautiful spots in the city, but how many times you will go and see these beautiful spots? You need good schools, you need good transportation, you need good hospitals, you need good leisure spots, good clubs, and good living conditions, as it was said, a neat city. So these are all basic things which everyone has to be brought in. So an organization like TiE, etc., it is this message you also have to carry to each and everyone concerned with that. Don't leave to the government or the local authorities alone. Well, friends, I know there's a time constraint. I'll only have a couple of words as valedictory, in the sense it is something very happy to know that TiECON Kerala has been doing this kind of an exercise. Let it be a very, very sustained effort to create an entrepreneurial spirit in the state. That's more important. It's easier said than done. Entrepreneur, they will develop somewhere or other if he's a real entrepreneur. And he will always clamor for better ecosystem. But how will you create an ecosystem? Or is a good ecosystem alone, is that enough? The entrepreneurial character, nature is an ingrained feature which can be developed by every individual. It's a kind of mindset which can change. So, building up that spirit of entrepreneurial culture, that is what we have to now emphasize on. This has to start from the school, start from the family, start from the society, start from various socio-cultural agencies, every walk of life. So your effort has to be not just entrepreneurial destination, but Kerala an entrepreneurial state. That is your objective. You can rework your tagline. Rework your tagline. It should be. Believe me, there is a very silent revolution taking place in Kerala. It's palpable. That has to be further helped. It's only the entrepreneurial spirit which will help. There are startup missions, Every school you go, every college you go, every university which you all go and talk, You all speak about, sir, speak about startup mission. Speak about innovation. We are doing that. But I always insist on this. Without innovation, it can't happen. It cannot. You will start up. There can be a startup. What is the future of that startup? It's easy to make a startup with the adequate plan and, if you are imaginative, if you have an idea, you can. But what happens to the startup? It has to be scaled up. How will you scale up? It requires a lot of effort. It is here that entrepreneurial spirit comes in. And scaling up is also possible. Is that enough? No way. You have to really make it sustained. You have to take it to the level of sustained growth. Only if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, that is possible. And this entrepreneurial spirit doesn't mean that you have to be essentially an entrepreneur yourself. Certainly not. That's not possible also. Everyone, as it has been said, an IAS officer can be a man with a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. He need not be an entrepreneur himself. We have started several companies, several establishments during our career. But we don't own anything. We are not a part of any of those things. We have that entrepreneurial spirit. The spirit of taking risk. The spirit of innovation. The spirit to change things. It's very important. And then adopt and adapt change. To create change is equally important. Otherwise, the change will take place, somebody will be creating that change, and you will be simply following it. TK will adopt it, will adapt it. No. If you have that entrepreneurial spirit, you will create that change. It is this creation of change which will take you to the progress, path of progress. This is something which I would like to speak to every new entrepreneur, every youngster. And as I said yesterday, the whole lot of responsibility for the elders. Be their mentors. Take a vow today that you will mentor at least a couple of new entrepreneurs every year. Take them to the fruition stage, the sustainable level. It's very, very important. Well, friends, you have the message, you have the spirit, you have the courage to take it forward. Let it be sustained effort and innovate. Please. If only you innovate, you will find new ways of making Kerala entrepreneurial. Cut out destination. Make it entrepreneurial. People will rush in. So, let the target of TiECON Kerala be making Kerala entrepreneurial. Wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.